Global mobility is a very, very vital function to the organization. Global mobility ensures and helps talent place talent where they need to be so that they can do the job that they need to do to ensure a company's success. So to the business, it's an extremely vital function.
It has many challenges, starting of what company is going to pay from which country, and if the person is going to need from a work visa or something or something regarding to the country that is going to be paying. Also, the taxation becomes a problem because if the country that is paying, it requires to withhold and the country that the person is living is going to tax that, probably are going to encounter issues of a double taxation that the filing of a tax return can be settled, but then at least during a certain period there's going to be a double taxation that somebody has to bear, and also somebody's going to have to bear the cost of who is going to file the tax return.
It's important to provide a really good support structure to employees who are willing to go on assignment. It's key to enabling them to expand their experience in ways that they may not be able to accomplish if they stayed at home. And I think that that experience, that exchange of ideas really benefits the company as a whole.
So when it comes to the question of dealing with generational gaps and how we manage them, I think it's up to the mobility consultant to build that rapport with the employee as well. So I come from I'm sort of in the middle of the generations, I think. So I cannot understand in the beginning of my work in the mobility space, why are these people just, traveling wherever they are? They can work from anywhere because, there's the other majority of people that when I first started out, where the expatriates are very traditional. So they want full hand holding, they want VIP service, they want to be, they have a red carpet waiting for them at the airport, and then you have a driver and everything. And then versus the group that I was dealing with, they were like just backpackers. They're happy with, whatever's on their bag. They're happy with just being in a hotel room or a hostel. It doesn't matter. They just want to get their work done. So it is really up to the mobility consultant to sit them down and tell them, hey, it's great that you're so flexible and you're so versatile. You can be anywhere in the world and you still can perform so great for the company. At the same time, you might want to think about, all these repercussions, because then if you get stopped or if you get questioned, you might not be able to do what you love continuing after this particular episode. So they actually understand that you're just there to protect them, and some of them might be, hesitant at first to say, hey, you're just making my life difficult. You just want to not see me move countries because it's easy and you just want me to adhere to the policy. But when you put yourself in their shoes, and they understand that you're just there to make sure that they're okay and they're not going to be in trouble, then they sort of listen to you. So I've had to have heart-to-heart talks with some of them because they were just so stubborn. But when they understand that it comes from a good place and a good intent, then they slowly kind of try to understand where you're coming from, and then they kind of suited their travel plans with the policy as well. So it was a good balance, I would say. Employees understand us, and employers have to understand the employees as well.
A top tip I would give global mobility professionals moving people into the US is to really plan. Immigration is always a big challenge for anybody coming into the US. The timing is a challenge. What we think might be 4 months could be 5 months. So really think through, manage expectations with hiring managers around timing, and think through when the person can come to the US. That way you'll have less stress for the hiring manager, but you'll also have less stress for the employee and their families who are now anticipating quite a big move and the stresses that go around that.
Duty of care is so important for global mobility, especially in the immigration space. We need to make sure that we are being compliant on all levels so that we are not getting our employees or the entities for which they work in trouble. We need to make sure that we have up-to-date, current information in our systems, in our HR systems at all times, to make sure that we are, to make sure that we're not putting anybody or any entity at all whatsoever at risk. Also, compliancy and duty of care in a tax space is also just as important, to make sure that we're following the laws and the regulations of the local governments to where our assignees are working in host location, as well in the home location. If there's no tax treaty between the home location and the host location, we have to make sure that we are taking our duty of care very seriously and not putting anybody at risk.
Moving forward, organisations will have a hybrid of remote assignments and your more traditional models. I think that the issues that come with that are some challenges around the more traditional hierarchy structures that many organisations have. There is some discussions that remote assignment workforce will actually take one step further and go towards a task-based workforce, where you have an individual in a country performing multiple tasks, potentially for multiple business units for a business. So it's almost, I guess, a bit like being a contractor within your own organisation. You're wearing multiple hats, but to one organisation. So I think that it's absolutely something that is here to stay, and something that we need to build some mechanisms around to make sure that that we're adhering to those foreign jurisdictional requirements for the activities that individual is doing. So that's a challenge in itself, how we skill up and not only from a knowledge-based perspective, but also from a administrative and manpower perspective, how we support that volume of work as mobility practitioners. But I think more broadly, that traditional hierarchy within an organisation is going to get challenged by having that remote working assignment or task-based focused roles within an organisation. It's really going to mix things up.
Global mobility to the business is a function that allows business to continue and prosper, because that function is allowing the business to get what they need, a talent what they need to get what they need done to meet the business goal.
So my definition of global mobility is really, the act of helping an individual or an individual and his or her family move from one country to another. I know that there is a lot of domestic relocations, but my experience is primarily cross-border movements. So it's anything and everything that entails immigration, tax, pensions, social securities, banking, housing, shipment of goods. The act of helping somebody or somebody in their family move from one location to another. And so I think it's a very middle woman, humanistic, empathetic role that requires a lot of active communication and active listening, because you're helping somebody through perhaps one of the most stressful yet exciting times of their lives.
I'm really excited to see how global mobility is going to evolve in the next few years. I feel like it has evolved quite a bit in the last few years, and it's been a really exciting space to be a part of. I am really hopeful that in the next few years or decades, we see a movement by, the tax and immigration landscapes, as well as relocation programs, to better adapt to the mobile, remote, global workforce that I think is coming out very strong after the last few years that we've had.